Hello, you awesome people. This is Edward Zier here tonight with an amazing person who I would love for herself to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Donna Benstead. Very happy to be here with you all tonight. Looking forward to sharing some insights with you all and lots of interaction and fun.
Exactly. So now we've got a very, very cool live webinar topic. And it's been quite a different direction for me, actually. Usually mine are more technical, marketing driven. But this time we've delved a little bit deeper into the human mind, haven't we, Donna?
Oh, absolutely. That's where I like to live.
There you go. There you go. I tend to live a little bit in the auditory world. So here we are. Thank you for coming tonight. I know a lot of you awesome people listen to the live recording. So if you are on the line tonight, please send us your questions in real time. And if you're listening to the recording, well, we'll leave our email addresses at the end so you'll know where to find us. But without further ado, let's get into everything. So first things first, what I want to do is I just want to get straight into the good stuff with Donna and I. And basically what I'm doing is just going through a few ideas, and I'd love to get your input on these, Donna. So for me, I've always taken the view that mindset is one of those strange soft concepts that leads to incredibly hard and tangible results. What's your take on that statement?
Okay, you can poke at it. Mindset is everything. If you decide whether you can or you can't, you're going to be right. And because if you don't decide yes or no, so you say, okay, yes, I'm going to buy a new home this week. If you do that, your actions are going to be towards that. If you say, oh, I might, there's doubts in your mind. So your mindset is not there. So whatever you decide, yes or no, that will be the way that your subconscious mind takes you. And that's what your mindset is all about. So it's not a soft concept. It is the backbone of everything you do.
That's a good one, actually. It's I really like it. I suppose the reason why I call it soft is, Donna, is not soft out of disrespect, because, for example, looking at colours is a soft skill, but pick the right colour and double your sales. It's probably more from the viewpoint, I think, that it's something that's hard to measure. It's not – if you look at it from an engineering point of view, you can't quite measure mindset or take that viewpoint.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just your language in itself shows your skepticism. So your mindset has already decided how you feel about it. So.
And this is the great discussion we're going to have tonight. Hence why we got Donna on our show. Now, going back as well, I remember my mindset used to be very employee-driven. And I bet you can understand this, and I bet you hear this all the time from your clients, Donna. I was so negative to myself. If I think back to my own internal dialogue, and when I say internal dialogue for the audience, I basically mean that cassette tape that plays in your mind over and over again. Mm-hmm. I used to be one of the most negative sods on the planet. In fact, I can't even believe I'm this positive today. I'm not dangling from a rope. What do you think, Donna?
Absolutely. We've had discussions about mindset and positive language. When you go into a car park and it's a little bit busy, do you say, I'm going to get a car park really close to the entrance, or do you say, I'm never going to get a car park in here, and then you drive around for 20 minutes without a car park?
Yeah, I'm the guy that says, I've had enough, I'm out of here.
I'm going home.
and I never find anything. That's hence why I walk and catch public transport a lot.
But it's all about mindset. I always get a car park where I want. I have no problems with it. So that's where it is.
So how do you think that works? How does you saying that I'm going to get a car park wherever I want change the mathematical probability and reality of a car spot being there or not?
It's your positive subconscious mind just manifesting things when and where you need them.
Okay, good point. We're getting into this one. And continuing as well, we'd love to welcome Gordon Ramsay to tonight's webinar. This fish is so undercooked, it's still swimming. No, it's just want to thank Gordon Ramsay for this one. And I remember, I'm just for the record, I'm a massive Gordon Ramsay fan, and I think he's awesome. And I remember as well, when I was a lot younger especially before I started my business and became successful, so to speak, it was always like I had a Gordon Ramsay in my mind, but all I had was the negative side of Gordon Ramsay. In other words, if I achieved something, I would say to myself, meh, whatever. And if I stuff up the littlest thing, I'm like the biggest loser on the planet. So it was odd, Donna. I had this strange, incorrect magnification of things.
Yes.
I look at, what's your take on that whole objectivity to oneself issue?
The negative self-talk, it comes from many things, like you learn it through genetics in the environment that you grow up in. Kids at school, all of the negative Nellies seem to all hang together. They're like the jocks hang together, the negative Nellies hang together as well. So when you start looking at positive language as an incredible skill, you can start looking at things and turning things around where if you have a headache, you say, oh, God, it's an awful headache. No, I have a headache. I need to drink more water. Drink water, headache goes away. Because the headache is just the indication that you're dehydrated. So it doesn't matter what it is. The positivity is there. It's the lesson that you can learn.
Okay. So you're saying that, are you saying it's not so much a positivity or negativity, it's more the experience you take from that?
Absolutely.
And the meaning you apply to yourself?
Absolutely. So it's your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't know whether it's real or not. So if you say something's wonderful, it's wonderful. It's the old adage.
Donald Trump is wonderful, for example.
Probably not that. No, that was not the one that comes to mind.
So positive thinking applies to everything except Donald Trump, not him. That's the exception to the universal laws of attraction.
Yeah, he's just shocking.
Exactly.
But it's the in the old adage of glass half full, glass half empty. So it's just your perception. So if your subconscious mind decides that the glass looks way more full than it does empty, and there's no more water in it, what's right or what's wrong?
Yeah.
It's your perception.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I remember, it happens a few times. Happens to me about maybe once or twice a year actually in my own business. Let's say I have a big client finish up on me, or I just have a busy 3 weeks, and let's say my billings are a bit ho-hum, right? Even if I come off the back of a massive month of billings, right? I remember this happened to me probably about October last year. And for about 2 weeks, I was really bummed out. And it's like I had a massive record month, and my next month, my previous month was so damn good. Beating it the next month would have been very difficult to pull off. Right? Anyways, I had a lower month, and I was a bit, this sucks. This is annoying. And I remember that I was a bit bummed out for a week. But when I got myself back in the zone, and I was more focused on, instead of focusing on, I suppose, the negative, and more focusing on, well, the market's pretty big. Let's hit some chamber events and pick up some big clients. Everything actually turned around really quickly. It was only a week or two of thinking that way, and everything seemed to come good. It's pretty common, isn't it?
It is, and it's pulling on your resources. If you can be resourceful, or you can sit and whinge.
Yeah.
And either way, you're going to be right. So you may as well be resourceful and put your thinking cap on and be constructive and go out there and do what you're really good at, rather than sitting around whinging. No one's going to come, chamber events not going to come and knock on the door and say, hey, but can we have our event here?
Yeah.
So, like that.
Pretty easy.
It could.
That'll be good if they did that.
So, you get exactly out of it what you put into it. And it's very, very simple. So why not be happy and gorgeous rather than be unhappy and miserable?
Good one. I like it. And what was interesting, and again, I don't mean to play the violins here because even I'm sick of my own sob stories. and for me, what it was that I remember I used to have a very poor level. The way I would talk to myself was basically the bad side of Gordon Ramsay, not the good, awesome side of him. And I remember it was losing everything and coming to Sydney that really started me again and got me into a very different direction. And what it was is video games have always been a big part of what I do, video games and Star Trek. And I actually got these images up for a few motives, actually. A, to sort of gauge Donna's reaction, but I remember when I came to Sydney, I was beyond broke. I was actually 15 grand in debt. So I didn't have any money. I got some shitty jobs to sort of, pay the bills. And then eventually I started my business. And even at times today, I sort of still feel like that I'm a bit like the resistance guy up against it. And just for quite a few people that might actually recognize where these images are from. The actual images are from the video game franchises XCOM. The image on the left with the guy from the 60s, the image of the squad on the bottom left, and also the guy on the bottom right. They're actually from the XCOM series of video games, which is all about you fighting an unwinnable horde of aliens, but you miraculously pull it off.
Right, okay.
And at the top right, I've got Scott Bakula from Star Trek Enterprise, who basically were my inspiration during the darkest times. So the reason I'm drawing on these materials is that when I was sort of going through a lot of stuff in my life and really up against it, I kind of drew a lot of inspiration from video games and movies that to this day I still do.
Absolutely.
Right? And I suppose where I'm going at, where I'm sort of aiming at this remark with you, Donna, is I sort of always seen myself as the resistance fighter sort of archetype,
Yep.
the little guy who's up against it but always miraculously gets away with it.
Yes.
What's your take on my whole viewpoint and thinking here, Donna?
Video games, they're a world of fantasy. So you can be the hero in your own hero's journey. And that's what every person wants to be, the hero or the heroine, whichever way you want to look at it. So if things are getting really tough out in with employment and career and relationships and things like that, it's easy to slip away into a game, and you can just pick up where you left off, and it will release the same endorphins and dopamine and all of those kind of really good hormones that we should be experiencing in real life, in inverted commas, real life. Because you have to remember, why would you put the effort in outside a video game if you're getting all those wonderful juices through a game rather than experiencing it for real and sharing it with with other people?
So a bit like watching a movie too, a sense of escapism.
Absolutely. I'm a major Avengers fan.
Hey, there you go. Well, this is my Avengers. Same thing.
Same thing. Yes.
XCOM. Yeah. Star Trek.
Absolutely. Yes. Heroes save the world, and that's why. And I feel that's why people like us do the kind of work that we do. We really want to help other people, and I love to play the hero's journey and analyze that whole spectrum of things. And every video game is built on the premise of the hero's journey. Going through, in the end, bringing home the spoils. So, and it's really difficult to sort of get children, particularly, away from video games, because this is where they win. They don't have to struggle. There's no struggle. They're not having to test or face change. It is just a video game. So they're happy in that environment. So they don't have to communicate outside of a video game.
That's interesting, actually. It's interesting. And I suppose a lot of this thinking has got me looking at it from the viewpoint, Donna, that conquering the reason we don't achieve our goals.
Yeah.
And for me, I guess, when I wasn't achieving my goals in my life, I would play the video games, but then equally those video games with the resistance fighter up against the themes would re-inspire me to get back into life. So in a way, it wasn't escapism for the sake of I can't handle reality. It was, well, this is enjoyable and fun. It would recharge me, and then I go back in to win in real life per se.
Yeah, so you play in a healthy way, not a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm never leaving my room again. and I live on a diet of Coke and chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hence, but that is the extreme. But unfortunately, today it is a reality. It's very difficult for some kids out there, some adults. Life is changing very, very quickly. And as human beings in the environment and structures that we're in at the moment, we do not accept change well. We like our certainty. We like a bit of variety, but we like to control that variety. So if there's change and adversities coming, we don't want to experience those things. They're very difficult. So it's very easy to retreat away and not face them. If you go and apply for a job and you don't get it, you're a bit bummed. By the time you've done that 10, 15 times and you still haven't got that job, what, do you keep trying or do you give up? Because you just never know. It could be number 25 job, it could be number 26 job. So it just depends on, where you are in the scheme of things. So your beliefs are going to pull you through.
So I guess the big question is, and by the way, just checking in with the audience too, loved your questions so far. Please get us some really awesome questions. We've been sort of weaving them in and giving us some answers. So check out the chat box provided. We have great ideas we'd love to share with you. So please ask your questions to guide the presentation. Now, getting right into it, Donna, in simple terms, what is the reason we do not achieve our goals in our life?
Your beliefs will define what successes you have, because you will never ever be wrong. So if someone turns around and says, Edward, you could be president of the United States, you just put your mind to it, and you say, no, I couldn't. Now, forget the reality of it. You've decided you couldn't, so you won't.
Sure.
Because you're not going to put the effort in.
Yeah.
You just muck about and go, oh, yeah, okay, here we go. So your successes or failures are all determined by your beliefs. So if you've got a belief that you have from a child, and these are extremes of you're worthless, you're never going to amount to anything, I don't even know why you were born, and that is said by a parent, that child will have an incredibly hard time getting over that as an adult, because the love of their parents is what they want more than anything. So they don't want their parents to be wrong, so they will live up to that. And whilst that is only a belief, it will dictate what they do and how they survive. So generally speaking, not until a mentor or teacher, coach, whatever, finds that child and gives them hope that they change that belief. So the belief is no longer serving them, or probably never did serve them. They can let it go and they replace it with something, yes, I can be or do whatever I want. So the extremes of beliefs, and you believe that you're a negative, you see the negative side of things, but you're not. You're a very positive person to be around. So you saying that I'm a negative person, but that's your belief, but it's not what you portray.
Okay. So in other words, that might be, so let's say deep down I am a positive person, which I know I am. So that thinking that I'm a negative person is probably some kind of residual corruption.
Absolutely. So it's more clearing with that, and it's easy peasy, and it can be taken care of.
That's very interesting. So I was going to say, Donna, and I think this talks to a lot of people, and I'll bring it back to marketing for the moment. When it comes to, let's say, a lot of the clients I deal with, they're more entrepreneurial clients here. When I deal with small business entrepreneur clients, quite often they can be very much afraid of several things. They can be afraid of something as little as going to a networking event. It can terrify them.
Oh, yes.
And equally speaking, they can be afraid of earning lots of money.
Absolutely.
Now, Donna, can you explore this theory with the audience? And I'm going to shut up. I want to hear. I'm sure the audience and myself want me to shut up, and I want to hear your raw thoughts on this whole issue that mindset stops people in their marketing. So please go for it, Donna.
Okay, here we go. When it comes to money is that all empowering evil, and that. Particularly in Australia, we have the wonderful thing called tall poppy syndrome. So if you're doing better than someone else, they're going to tear you down anyway. So it's very difficult for us to, as business owners and consultants and entrepreneurs, to turn around and go, okay, right, well, I can take the knocks. So particularly if you're a young person and your parents struggled and there was things around the house was money doesn't grow on trees, we haven't got enough money for this, you can't go here because we don't have the money, dad's out of work again, so we're going to have to tighten our belt. And then as you get older, your grandparents and things stepping in saying, back when I was a lad, we had to, we did it tough. It's hard work. You have to work hard to make a living. So these beliefs are really cemented in. And there's just tons of them. But around wealth and money, the limiting beliefs are there by the tons. So when you can let go of those beliefs or even understand, and also don't forget, we never want to disappoint our parents. And we never want to do better than our parents unless you get permission. And it's really strange. Like my daughters expect to do better than I do. Because that's, I'll part the waters, you guys go for it. Whereas my parents, they worked hard. I don't work hard. I have a lot of fun. I consult for a lot of hours each day and in the evening, but I don't work hard. I love what I do. I really enjoy it. I get paid to do what I love. So I'm having a great time, and I still call it going to work. But for me, going to work has a different connotation to what it would for like my dad. So if you can turn your beliefs around, and a very simple little tip, if I may. If you just write down on a Post-it note or, a bit of paper and stick it up on the bathroom mirror, and if you just write on it, I am open to all prosperity in the world. I am loved and love all. And you read that every morning and every night. Get the frown off your face, Edward.
Sorry, can I give some commentary on that one? Now, I just for the record, I'm pro gay marriage. I think gay people are awesome, and I'm going to make a remark here that has absolutely nothing to do with homosexuals because I think they're wonderful. I don't know. That sounds a little bit gay to me, Donna. I don't know. Just to be honest with you, there's something.
It's not very masculine for you to turn around and say you love yourself and love others.
Loving others is cool. I think. Saying to love myself,
absolutely,
that sounded a little bit gay, and I don't mean that in a homosexual sense. Homosexuals are awesome, pro-gay marriage.
Because that's the way you were brought up, and that's a limiting belief that you have.
So I'm not allowed to say I love myself based on some beliefs that I'm carrying.
Absolutely.
Because I'll just say that it's gay.
Yes, and it's not.
Okay.
Because if you don't love yourself first, how are other people going to love you?
That's good. I agree with that.
So
that's good insight.
You are worthy of love. So saying I love myself and I love all and I'm open to abundance in the world, That is awesome. That's beautiful.
So talking at it from a marketing viewpoint, let's say hypothetically, I'm not, by the way, but I'm just saying this for argument's sake. Let's say there was a big chamber event or I'm going on a TV audition, which I actually am in a few months, and I'm really nervous about it. I suppose if I'm going in there taking the viewpoint that, this is gay and I suck, I'm not going to get very far.
Absolutely.
But if I say to myself, I love myself and I'm very capable, my probability of success will obviously increase.
Absolutely, because it will come in. It will come in your voice. It will come in your stance, and it will come. It will come from your eyes.
I've got a good one for you. You'll like this actually, and this is a very, very marketing example. The Australian actor Sam Worthington.
Yes, I do.
Die-hard fan. I was a fan of him when he was with the young Abbey Cornish in the film Somersault.
Okay.
Before he cracked it, before he cracked the big one. Always been a fan of Sam Worthington. And his story, he's about the same, I think he's the same age as me. I'm 37. And I quite resonate with his story. He was living in his car at the time. He made it for Avatar.
Yep.
Actually living in his car at the time that he did the audition. And what was fascinating about it is that he actually went for the audition, did not know what the role was for, and he actually went in there not believing he'd get the role. And he had this sarcastic, I'm wasting my time attitude about him.
Mm-hmm.
And James Cameron, who watched it, said that's the guy because it was that sarcastic attitude that was his character, Jake Sully.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was a fascinating story, is the fact that Sam Worthington made himself do it, where he could have copped out and got a job.
Yes.
He gave himself, he developed a bit of attitude saying, probably in his own mind, this is gay, this is stupid, I'm wasting my time. Yet it all worked out for the better.
Absolutely. Mel Gibson did exactly the same thing. He went to the audition of Mad Max with a black eye.
Yeah. No, cool.
So, he
got the role.
He got the role because he was all dishevelled and half beat up because he was out drinking the night before and got in a fight and bang, and got the role as Mad Max.
Oh, well, that's Max then. Mad Max would have done that sort of thing before the war.
And so Jake Scully was exactly the same in Avatar. So they walk in being the part without even knowing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's pretty awesome.
I suppose what was interesting, though, if we use Mel Gibson and Sam Worthington, those examples, obviously there was something deep inside of them that made them believe they could succeed. Otherwise, they would not have turned up for the audition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think film and TV is an incredibly hard industry all over the world. It's hard graft. You really leave your guts at the door, so to speak. And my other daughter works in film and TV and has applied for thousands of jobs, and I mean thousands. And it takes years to be successful. So but in her heart, even through the tears and the disappointment and all of the things that she went through, which every actor or crew that works in film and TV goes through, they know in their heart that they will get there. They just have to keep trying.
So in other words, your daughter, yeah?
Yep.
Your daughter, Mel Gibson and Sam Worthington, deep down had this belief they would actually win.
They know that they will win.
Exactly. So in the moment, it might have been, Sam Worthington might have felt, look, I'm going to win one day, but this interview's gay and I'm going to do it anyway. I suppose deep down, Sam Worthington believed he would have won because he was living in his car. He didn't cop out and get a job.
No.
He was busy shooting for the stars and he made it.
He knew. And that's the thing, like Mackenzie, my daughter, she would not do anything else. She worked in temp jobs and things like that in between jobs, but never did it occur to her to go and get a proper job, as I quote my mother. So, like those things are real, and they're never said with malice. They're said with all sorts of caring. because the beliefs around security and money and career and having a job and blah, 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 and super and buying a house, it's an incredible burden. You know, God forbid that you're actually going to grow up, do something that you love, and actually earn money doing it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Interesting. So let's say hypothetically, anyone listening to this was like me once. They're, for whatever reason, rightly or wrongly, they're trying to market their business, be it they're trying to put videos of themselves on Facebook, they're trying to attend networking events, they're trying to sell more confidently, or they deep down they don't feel deep down they're fully convicted to what they're doing. What's your advice to them to help them turn their thinking around to generate the results they want and conquer the reason they don't achieve their goals?
You have to write it down.
Okay.
You have to make your actions real, and writing them down makes things real. If it's just your business statement, your mission or your vision, your values, whatever it is for your business, write it down. If you've got one big fantastic goal for your business, like you say, okay, all I want is one $50,000 contract or one something else. Let's go with a $50,000 contract.
Yeah, I want to pick up a $50,000 client.
That's it.
That's all. 3 months.
That's all you want to do.
Yeah.
So at the end at the 1st of June, you want to have that client in the bag. So we work our way back to what do you have to do today? So where is the client? So you do your whole list of where am I going to find the client? He's certainly going to know, he's not going to knock on your door. So you need to know where you're going to find them. You need to know what kind of environment they're going to be in. What are they actually going to be looking for? So this client you have got to manufacture this client. Then you have to go out and you have to find them. And as it says, actions speak louder than words. You have to pound the pavement. You have to knock on doors. You have to be prepared to put yourself out there. When you knock on the door and you think you're going to vomit, that's the right door to be knocking on. You really have to, put your heart into it. Put your conviction into it. It's $50,000 for crying out loud. Why would anybody invest with you if you're going to go in there and go, oh, I suppose that'll do?
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way.
It's good that you say that, actually, and that, again, talking about from a marketer's viewpoint. One of the takes that I've had on the reason why a lot of people don't succeed in their own marketing or own business is because they can't work through frustration. It's like, I did, pick on the chamber, for example. I went to a chamber event and I didn't pick up any leads this time that I went. This place sucks. I'm not going again.
Because that's the attitude you went in with. Why would anyone want to talk to you?
So hence they send out a negative vibe. No one will talk to them.
Yep.
They're dead meat.
Yep, dead in the water.
Okay, so just as a recap for our awesomely engaged audience, and please send your questions through, audience. You're all very stunned by our pearls of wisdom that are coming out. Ho, ho, ho. So you're just saying as a recap, write down what you want, write down your genuine goal, and then work back and then push your way through the process as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. You have to have actions. You have to review those actions at least on a weekly basis. If you've got a big goal and it means a lot to you, whether you're going to not live in your car or not, you need to decide what you're going to do. Put everything into it. Make the actions. Write those actions down. There's lots of little apps that you can get for list keeping for Android and Apple phones. So just write your list, get an accountability buddy if it makes you sick just trying to think about getting through it. Don't worry about why you're not doing the things that you do, but concentrate on the things that you're doing really well. if you're not doing really good with marketing, get someone like Edward to help you.
Yeah.
3 cheers for Edward.
Yeah. He's not gay. Yeah.
Oh gosh. And have positive affirmations and be careful of your language. Don't try to do something, because trying is like you're not.
Yeah, not going to happen.
No, you're in or you're not.
Yeah, trying is like, I'll sort of go to the networking event. No, you have to go to the networking event.
No, sitting in the car is not the networking event.
Yeah, actually, that's a good metaphor, actually. Let's use the networking event, for example, which is a common one. The reason why I'm using the networking event, and I'll just give a recap from a marketer's viewpoint. People, especially when they're trying to build their business, are usually terrified of networking events. And you get all sorts of extremes. You get the little shitty breakfasts, which, to me, there's a lot around town which have great people in it, but they're not of a lot of genuine business value.
No.
And then maybe at the upper end, you'll have a place like the American Chamber of Commerce, where one of my friends was sitting with the CEO of Delta Airlines, right? Not too long ago. And I suppose in that scenario, people will feel some fear and apprehension about that.
Yes.
And the reality is they have to go to the events. They have to squeeze palms.
But
you can't not do that. If you don't go to the event and don't squeeze palms, there is a 0% chance you'll pick anyone up.
Absolutely. But the thing is, what I really love and admire are the 30,000 excuses that they can come up to why they couldn't come to that event.
Yeah.
And it's as good as the dog ate my homework.
Yeah.
If you want to be in it, get in it. If you don't want to be, that's fine. But man up and say, I don't want that $50,000 contract. I'm going to go and get a job at Macca's.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Yep.
The choices are simple. You will not go to a networking event, or you have where people are going to say, geez, get away from me. You're really annoying me. People are there to network.
That's actually happened to me before, just for the record. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. It actually has happened to me. Anyway, but please continue, Donna.
People are, they're entitled to a bad day.
Yeah.
So, learn from it and move on. Just go in, be polite and honest. Say your name, what you do, and listen. Be inquisitive.
Sorry, what was that? Yeah, just kidding.
Be inquisitive of those around you, and don't be false. Be genuine with your questions. If you want to know what somebody does, like at a networking event, they did pool ball things and stuff, pool tables. That's what.
Oh, pool tables.
Yeah,
okay.
And I was actually interested in that because I saw a glass top pool table and I thought they always had to be slate. But anywho, yeah. So had a conversation about something that I really didn't think I was interested in, and so just be honest, open. And don't say, I was going to go there, but I got held up at work, because you've manifested all of those blockages all the way to the
BS.
end.
No BS.
Just get there. Just do it.
No BS. I love it. I think it's very, very good details. And what we've got, I know we've sort of covered this one.
Yeah.
I know we've spoken a lot about actions. I think we've really gone through that one.
You skipped affirmations.
Yeah.
Affirmations. They're the ones that you need to do.
So let's strike at the heart of the tiger. Tell us about affirmations, Donna. I'm a wonderful person, and the universe loves me, and I love it.
See?
Oh, the universe is flowing, a river of abundance.
Oh gosh!
Please, Donna, enlighten us.
Maybe you could start a little bit smaller than the universe, Ed.
Jesus?
No, just smaller. Come down.
Donald Trump?
How about I'm happy to live in my gorgeous world?
Oh, actually, I am. Yeah, I'm genuinely happy to live in my gorgeous world.
So.
I actually am, by the way. I'm not being an arsehole. Actually.
So they're the kind of things like start small and work your way up.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, and I challenge everybody out there, and I'd love to hear hear back from you. I want you to stand you in front of a mirror and look at yourself in the eye and say, I love you.
That's a good one.
That will just forget a chamber event. That is the absolute, that's the biggie.
Okay, you keep talking. I'm going to walk up to that wall mirror right now and I'm going to do it. So keep talking to our loving audience.
So there's affirmations, because it's a little bit like fake it till you make it.
I love you. Oh, no sweat.
With conviction.
I know, I meant that. Yeah. So
sarcasm.
Obviously, I do love myself, but I've just got layers of just crazy talk on top of that.
Absolutely.
But deep down,
but it's protection.
Yeah, deep down, I obviously love myself, so I had no problem with that exercise, and I genuinely meant it. So what the challenge is, you walk into the mirror, you look yourself in the eye by the reflection.
Stand there and just look at yourself. Say probably 10, 15 seconds, which is a long time when you're looking at a mirror in your eye.
And you say, I love you.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone, that is a challenge to the audience.
Yep.
Walk up to a mirror, not a cop. Look yourself in the eye and say, I love you. That's not bad, Donna. That's compelling television, I think.
Compelling.
It's very, very compelling.
Because affirmations are a wonderful thing. If you say, I have a wonderful partner, you will have a wonderful partner. If you say, my wife's a bitch, guess what?
You're not getting an Xbox for Christmas? So equally talking marketing. So it might be, for example, I can create a great video of myself. I look good on camera. I can talk to that guy in a suit.
Yep.
I'm comfortable pitching to that corporate client. I can have a difficult conversation with my staff members.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're the very simple things that we get caught with in watching our language and being positive, because out of every failure we have success. And that's the way it is, because without failure you wouldn't have learned anything, and so without learning anything you don't have success, blah, blah, blah. So it starts small with affirmations. It is really a beautiful way to look at things, and you just never know where it's going to lead to.
Yeah. So with the enemy within, and when I say enemy within, I mean that negative voice inside of us that creates conflict. Right?
You just thank it very much for protecting you.
Okay. So let's say hypothetically, and I'm talking from this, I actually had to basically push a client in the door at New South Wales Business Chamber, right?
Yeah.
Lovely woman. You quite like her, actually. At a great, by the way, just for the record, she knows who she is. She might be listening to this recording, and I think you're awesome. And you know that I didn't push her in the door. I actually literally grabbed her arm and literally dragged her in the door. She was that terrified, right? She was just that terrified of what was going on.
Yep. It's easy.
I suppose, let's say I wasn't there, right? Let's say I was there, and once she's in there, she's now joined the New South Wales Chamber. She's good. But let's say hypothetically I was not there to save her bacon. How would she be able to fight that enemy within to make herself overcome her fears and get in that door?
I think it's just being consistently persistent. You know, it's taking a step closer each time. I find it very difficult to go to places where I don't know people. But if I know that someone I know is going to be in there, I'm sweating.
But let's say you don't. So you've just started. It's first week of your business. You're standing outside the New South Wales Chamber. There's a bunch of guys in suits in there, and you're covered in sweat and you're terrified. And you know you're about to pike it.
Yep.
How would you control your psychology? You're on your own. You've got no backup, no reinforcements, no nothing.
Yep.
Your phone's out of power. You've got no internet, no nothing.
Yep.
How would you mentally wrestle yourself within to make yourself go through that door?
I can take one more step.
Okay.
And that's what I do. I work in an environment where hundreds of millions of dollars. That's my world. And it's really quite terrifying what can happen in a heartbeat and what happens in the world of global finance and other things. So if you turn around and I just say, I can take one more step, and then it becomes more simple. You just need to put your heart into it and just go, I come all this way, I can take one more step. And I always give myself little things to do. I don't go in there and talk to as many people as I can. I give myself a quota of how many business cards I can get and how many I can give out. And the first event that I went to, I was really fortunate and said, all I have to do is get 3. And I did. And I left because I got 3 because I couldn't get out of there quick enough. But I did the 3.
So, in other words, instead of in that scenario, just take one step at a time and force yourself through that door.
One step, and then if you have to go to the bathroom and throw up or feel like you're going to pee, just keep going. You can't know everything about all there is to know about running a business. So go to the people that do know lots and lots and lots. You walk into a chamber event, there are so many people there. You will never want for another person. You never know who you're going to meet at these events. You're not going in there. Don't consider that you're going in there to get clients. But think about the awesome people that you could meet. I've met some great people, absolutely rocking people. I've not really gone with this specific intent of how many people how many leads am I going to get? I go to meet people, and I think I have to turn it the other way because I don't do. I'm not into marketing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I go because I sell myself.
That's good. That's good. So affirmations, as a recap, are positive statements you can make to yourself, and one of the best ways is through an intense staring at yourself in a mirror manner.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's an old Louise Hay thing.
Well, there you go. So
Tony Robbins is seriously into affirmations and positive language.
Yeah.
Just massive, and
that's good.
Richard Branson's another one of positive language. So, I sort of figure,
Donald Trump is as well. Donald Trump.
He is an idiot.
Gordon Ramsay is, I wouldn't say, is into positive language, but we get you. That's really good commentary.
Yeah.
So thank you. Actions, we've covered that, and
yes.
Well done. Support and accountability buddies, maybe just a little bit of light commentary on that one. Donna, how does a support and accountability buddy help you win the game?
I catch up with a girlfriend every Wednesday night, either by phone or dinner, hopefully dinner, and we discuss for about 10, 15 minutes how things going with your business, and we sort of know with each other where our different pain points are, so we support each other in those things. I've got different skills than what she has, so we decide what sort of little aspects of things are going well, what's not going so well, what do you need to do. Let me know if you need a hand doing it. I also I do a weekly review of my own every Sunday night. I've been doing it for a very long time, and I moved it about 6 years ago from Friday night to a Sunday night. So, you just have to be accountable. If you write it down, it makes it real. So if you need support, ask for it. Very simple. Like I've called Ed and said, have you got 5 minutes, and peel out a whole bunch of questions. Yes, this, do that, and get the help that I need in a few minutes rather than stewing over it and thinking that I have to know everything myself. I call my sister. I have lots of friends, like everybody's an accountability buddy at the end of the day. But don't be too proud to ask for support. You're not supposed to know everything. That's why CEOs of companies have so many people work for them, because they don't really know what they're doing. But they're good at pulling a team together. And that's what you've got to consider for yourself. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know the people who know the people who know the people.
Sounds really good. Love your work. So we've actually been here for an hour almost, Donna.
Oh, gosh.
And we've gone through some really deep thinking.
Yeah. And it hasn't been gay at all.
Well, let's change our language before I get a lawsuit.
Yes.
Pro-gay marriage, homosexuals are awesome. I mean this purely in a pop culture context, right? But no, exactly. It's been really good. I think it's been a really great one. And one big thing I love always saying to the audience is whenever we have live webinars or listening to our recordings, please take one great idea from all this and put it in your business so you can make a massive difference.
Yep.
So I always plead with the audience, please don't just listen to us. Actually take something and do it, because that is how it's going to translate into money and marketing results.
You have to go to an event. Even if you want to practice at the dodgy breakfast ones, not saying that they're all dodgy.
A lot of them are just being objective. A lot of them are actually completely dodgy.
Yeah, but go and practice giving out cards, saying your name, practicing your elevator speech or your barbecue pitch or whatever you want to call it. But don't go on and on and on. Talk for 15, 20 seconds, that's plenty. Say your name.
Yeah.
But just go.
Yeah. Another example is, let's say you're adept at business networking, but there's something more challenging to you. Let's say using Facebook as a challenge to you. Let's say hypothetically you're afraid of spending $5,000 to build a really good website for your business. Let's say hypothetically you're afraid of having that stern conversation with a staff member. Let's say you're afraid because you're worried you may not pick up clients next week. You're feeling scared. That's awesome. That's okay. But just do something about it. Take the first step. And I like what you said earlier about the scenario where you're terrified to enter a networking event. Just take an extra step. Just take that one step, and then the next step will precede that.
Yep. One foot in front of the other. It's very simple. Make a plan. Write it down. It doesn't matter what you do, but don't go away and say, this is a great webinar, and don't implement anything, because it's just a waste of your time. Exactly.
And so there you go. We've come to the epic conclusion of our webinar. I just want to say...
No, not woohoo that I'm getting away from you.
No, because we're almost there. It's been absolutely a wonderful experience. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I want to say thank you for the imagery I've used. Thank you to yourself, Donna. Thank you to the fine audience. And I just want to say we're here to help. So on the final slide, you can see our actual contact details. And just very quickly, Donna, your contact details are there. How can you actually help people? So how can people talk to you, and how can you actually help them in what you do?
I come with many years of experience in consulting and having my own business, and I know how to put strategies and processes in place. I can get you from A to B to A to Z to wherever you want to go. I understand where you get stuck in your business. I understand where you get stuck in your relationships. And don't ever go with the adage of always leave your personal life at home and you leave your work at work. All those things, they integrate. So you have to have a good meld. And I understand what it takes to get those kind of things, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation with anybody, happy to have a cup of coffee and go over, and if you have any questions, get in contact with me. I'm always around.
Very generous. Thank you, Donna. And just quickly with myself, feel free to check out my website. I've got free webinars. I have my premium online marketing mentoring program, the Awesome Marketing Vault, which is a great product. You can sign up at my website with credit card or PayPal. And also as well, I can be hired as your personal mentor to help you with your marketing strategy and growing your business. So I just want to say this has been awesome, Donna, and thank you. Any closing remarks before we wrap up the webinar, being that it's...
I've had a great time. I really enjoyed sharing insights, and being this is the first time that you and I have done this together, it's been quite a privilege. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you again, Donna. And just so you know, I personally recommend Donna to many, so please check out her details. She also has a really good Facebook page too, so if you just search for Donna Benstead in Facebook, you'll be able to find her page. So there you go. Thank you for being such a great audience. And just to let you know, if you are live on the line and you've got some questions to ask, feel free to email any of us afterwards. Alternatively, if you are listening to a recording, you can email us too. We're totally here to help. So any closing goodbyes?
No, it's been great. Thank you for everybody for being here. And the first action is the best action.
There you go. This is Edward Zier and Donna. Good night.